try and calm down. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chase Center here in San Francisco, where we are going to Game 5! I hope everyone in the stadium has a little gas left in the tank, has a little bit left in their vocal cords so that they can scream their heads off for this fifth and final game, because I gotta be honest, I wasn't sure we were gonna get here, Dad.
Can we just acknowledge how unrealistic this is?
I just say, yeah, yes, acknowledged.
Yeah, how Faker, Deft, same high school, 10 years ago, World Finals now, DRX have an inhibitor respawn on them, have 2 Barons get stolen away with their chance of winning red side, but they just keep doing it. The more they lose, the better they get. It's unrealistic.
What I think is crazy is how everything has come together. The fact that this could be Faker's 4th title in his 5th appearance, the Deft story, and the fact that there's speculation around could this be his last year, and like no one thought that this roster would take him this far in his final year. Like it is just a movie that we're all just a part of. And the games are delivering. It is constant back and forth. We are seeing both incredible league, sloppy league. We're getting all of it, right? And it's just a beautiful culmination to the year, especially being back in front of an arena after 2 years of finals where we haven't had that same opportunity.
I'm glad you brought it to this DRX roster, because I kind of want to set the stage based on like expectations domestically, right? Because I was like messaging with Chronicler during the series, and I was like, I can't believe DRX are taking this to T1 in this game, but also they're doing it through topside and Kingin, which is not at all what we expected. Like, this team was not the worst in the LCK, but they were certainly not expected to be in a Worlds final. They were not expected to be able to play together this well, even going game from game. I'm sure Pioshik, there are a lot of comments about his game 3, and none of them are positive. And for him to come out on the Maokai pick in game 4, like you said, the evolution of this team, how quickly they're able to learn is so freaking impressive. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, Azale did something at the start of the day talking about how at every stage of the way, the majority of people predicted against DRX. And there was a good reason for that. You can look at their performance in the series before and the team they're playing up against, and it always felt like the other team was going to win. Even in this one, the 3 of us analysts before the series all did think T1 was going to win this series.
Myself as well. I'll jump in on that. All 4 of us did.
And it's because you have Faker and the experience, and you have T1 with the undefeated spring and how good they've been start to finish, and you have DRX, who didn't make playoffs in spring, barely scraped into Worlds, yet, as Emily says, here they are doing it in such an unexpected way.
Yeah, and I love that we're talking about the fact that this journey for DRX has always had accompanied with it this idea that they've been doubted. And so we asked the fans at home before we went to this commercial break who they thought was going to come away with game number 5. Much like we did at the beginning of the day for who would come away with the series, I'm curious to see if those numbers have changed. And they absolutely have. Top of day, this was a 66 to 33% vote from the fans at home. And now we've crunched it down to 52% in favor of T1. Still a slight edge for the winningest team in League of Legends history, but oh so slight. That's basically a coin flip.
And again, that speaks to how much DRX has been able to push T1, right? In a way that, again, like, I can't stress, if you told me this DRX team, not only in the World's Finals, Game 5, but the way they're trying to take it to T1 is also by trying to outplay them mechanically is just absolutely, like, I would have been like, no, you're crazy. Like, you're wrong.
And when we kind of take stock of the series, so far, Blue Side has won every single game. We've also seen Varus win every single game. But while we've put a lot of focus on that AD carry, the supports, I feel, have been so instrumental for both of these teams. Both Carrier and Beryl are having a phenomenal series in the impact that they are having for their teams. And it is just crazy and incredible to watch, especially when you think of Carrier being this player that was always hyped and anticipated. In his first year, he left a notable impression. In his second year, he made World semifinals, and in his third, already at the World Finals. Whereas Beryl, his 3rd year in a row at the World Finals. Supports often get left to the wayside, but to me, these two are the superstars of this series.
I mean,
Back to stage.
So it's a little fun fact there, right? Faker, most games played in the World Final. You know who has the second most?
It's probably Barrel.
It's Barrel.
Yeah.
How freaking wild is that, man? Let's go. And these two guys have come up so huge, as you mentioned, for these teams, and maybe a little bit under-discussed up to this point at the World Championship, if I'm being honest.
Faker, only active player to have more than one World Championship. Barrel could be one to get 2 World Championships in his 3rd appearance. A lot on the line here.
Yeah, and again, comparing their domestic performances, Keria did not perform compared to like the lofty expectations as people expected. He came out and talked about how he'd been struggling with long COVID and COVID symptoms. And then Barrel has had a lot of ups and downs, but he's absolutely showing up at this tournament.
Can you imagine being in the shoes of any of those players stepping on this stage right now?
Nope.
20,000 people in this arena, and there is only one game between you and hoisting that trophy that sits center stage.
And it's such a weird sense of pressure for both teams, because for T1, it's about returning to the pinnacle of League of Legends. It is about reclaiming that throne, and you can hear the number of dedicated fans that exist behind this man on your screen. Whereas DRX, there were no expectations. These players go from game to game, aiming on having the best time of their life and showcasing the best league that they can. And now they stand in the face of the titans of League, with only one game separating them from crowning the World Championship.
And I don't know if the people at home can hear this, but as the T1 chant started, so did the combating DRX chant started. And as you mentioned, with this team being constantly counted out and not being expected to go further, that is what has grown this fan base for them along the World Championship. People are fans of this underdog team making a run for it. Now, to get down to this Game 5 and what's about to take place, it is going to be no surprise to anyone that T1, with the final side selection, is going to blue. Vetty, as you mentioned, it has won all 4 games so far. So for T1, I have to imagine there's a bit of a plan, a blueprint that you can follow, given you're on that preferred side. For DRX, it's a little bit more in the unknown, and you're still left trying to find the answers.
Well, what has impressed me about DRX throughout the tournament is that they found creative answers. And we only have to go back to Game 3 to remember that they were at the brink of winning that game as well. Things were looking very positive for them. So when we get into this draft, I feel like DRX will have a plan to the virus, and somehow they'll be able to come up with something crazy.
Having what it takes to find the answer and actually finding the answer are two very different things, Jat. Let's talk predictions. Game number 5, I'm going to reset the scorecard for all 3 of the who takes it? Who's the world champion?
Can I start?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I feel like there have been 3 careers for Faker. His 2013 career when he out-mechanicked everyone.
Yep.
His 2015, 2016 where he could play everything. And now where I think he has experience and is the best leader he's ever been. I don't think he's lost those previous skills. He didn't show it in Game 4, but when I see the way he is focusing and locking in, I think he can lead T1 to their 4th world title.
All right, T1 vote for Jat. Emily, you're up next. What are you thinking?
So at the beginning of the day, I said 3-1 T1, and obviously that was wrong.
So did I.
One thing we weren't able to touch upon here is T1's own narrative arc and how they actually evolved quite a bit, especially in my opinion, the way that they approach side lanes and the map. I do think they're on blue side, also has a lot to do with it, but I'm going to go T1.
Okay, another T1 vote. Vedius, you're the last holdout. What's it going to be?
Our job as analysts is to find ways in which we believe teams will have the advantage to be able to come out ahead. I cannot use that analysis to determine the outcome of this game because I have nothing but undenying faith in DRX. Woo! This roster has done nothing but surpass expectations, and there is something about the atmosphere and the energy in this arena that makes it impossible for me to not believe that they will win this next game. I believe that Deft will hoist his trophy, and I believe that Zeka is about to have the best game of his life.
You gotta love it. I am already over the moon that we've made it to this 5th and final game, but it really is anyone's for the taking at this point. Both of our teams have arrived at the final hurdle, the final chapter of this legendary story, and we're handing it over to Kadril, Kobe, and Captain Flowers for the call.
Welcome to the grand finale of Worlds 2022. We've had 4 games, 4 battles, back and forth and back and forth. And now, gentlemen, it's down to this.
The entire year for all 10 of these players boils down to one more game.
And not just a year for 2 of them. For 2 of them, it's been 9. 9 years in the making since Faker won his first. Deft struggling to get past semis in Season 4. Finally made his way back in Season 12, 8 years later. And now he's 1 game away from accomplishing something that he's never done before, winning a world championship.
You got to be wondering what's going through the minds of these players as they're preparing for this final battle. I'm sure something is related to the draft right about now,
It is.
as it is on DRX to solve the red side conundrum.
It is. It's the red side dilemma. We expected this coming into the series, that blue side would always be favored. DRX tried the Kalista into Varus. What have they changed up? What's the final plan? The last dance is here, but what's the last draft?
One more ban to go.
Is it Caitlyn?
It's always been Caitlyn.
Yeah, I think they have to ban Caitlyn. Heimerdinger's down unless they want to play Varus into the Caitlyn, but do you really want to give Gumayushi that champion? It's the Lux ban. So they've given Caitlyn, but they've taken away the Lux.
You can pair it with Morgana, you can pair it with a bunch of other poke long-range supports to have a similar pushing effect. Gumayushi's Caitlyn is 9-1 all-time. Career record.
What's the plan? Does T1 first pick it? I think this is a surprise to them as well, the Lux ban.
You gotta throw out a surprise to crack this red side. You have to upset the meta.
So they think the Karma is the pushing factor. It's not Caitlyn or Varus.
Yeah.
So now does DRX take away the Caitlyn, but there's no real supports left that can contest this push. T1 have now picked away the supports for the push in face of this Lux ban.
This is already spicy. The lack of Caitlyn ban is already changing things up. What will be the first pick in the final game? The Azir, I would not be surprised. It's been so powerful in the series, and it's locked in for DRX.
You know, I think taking a Varus is probably the better idea. And then I think maybe we won't even see Caitlyn. No, they are going to go for the Caitlyn. They must have a support response. What has Beryl got up his sleeve? I cannot wait to find out.
He can pair with Zyra, Soraka, so much stuff. Let's see what he goes really deep for on the other side. I do think T1, like you're talking about, with the Varus, high priority there. And then do they want to take the Sylas before we go into the next 2 bans? Because DRX will protection ban.
There's the Varus. Aatrox is still up. Could see Faker's rise for game 5. Bit tough in terms of range, but it's his Victor that he's going back to. Was incredibly pivotal in their almost winning game 2. Did so much damage, but it was Deft who shut him down.
Zeus lost too. When he picked the Aatrox to Kingan's Camille, really strong Camille from Kingan that time around, so they're not too scared of it either, and they're gonna let it drop through as well.
There's the Varus. So what's DRX gonna pick? They're gonna pick away the Aatrox and then ban away 2 top laners. It worked last game. The Kingan's Aatrox was absurd. So Beryl's definitely got something up his sleeve, and he's keeping T1 guessing.
Something is planned. Remember, Beryl is the only player outside of the T1/SKT banner to ever make World Finals back to back to back. The man's creative, the man is effective, the man's impressive, and I can't wait to see that pick.
Morgana, Zyra, Soraka. What will it be? T1 even trying to decide what does Beryl have? Can we snipe it? They don't even want to try and snipe him. Then they go with the Sejuani instead.
The Sejuani ban coming out. Maybe they're gonna ban something like Viego or Graves as well. I think Piosik looks really comfortable on the Maokai, and against these mobile carries, it could work again. There's the Lee Sin ban targeting out Owner. We are in for a treat in this last pick ban phase. What has Beryl got for us? What has Zeus got for us in the top side into this Aatrox? Does he really want to run back to Fiora? Owner's going to have to dig deep for a jungler. Kindred is up. If Piosik wants to play a game 5 and he wants comfort, he can go towards Kindred. But against champions like Varus and Victor with so much poke, it is very tough to pull off.
It'll be banned away anyway. The final ban of the draft for T1 is that pocket pick, that comfort for Piosik. We need to see jungler, and we need to see support from DRX. I would expect the support to be the final pick of the draft for maximum surprise factor.
Def smiling. Is it Bard? Is he gonna go for the Bard in game 5? Yes! I love this guy's confidence. Beryl doesn't give a crap.
He's got front of the map now, baby. If you can push and open up windows here for him to roam around, visit mid lane, visit top lane, Beryl can be everywhere. Woo! Beryl can be in your dreams. Beryl could be right behind you.
He can be in your nightmares as well, because when he lands that Bard ultimate, the Caitlyn trap follow-up is going to be insane. There's the Viego from Owner. Now, Zeus, can you surprise us? Is it going to be a Fiora, a Camille, or does he have something else in store into this Aatrox? Gnar was one of his biggest comforts. Gwen, GP could be another one.
We saw the Fiora fall short just last game. Is he willing to run that back? What will he take into this matchup? Zeus has been such a powerful player, such a standout factor, such a game winner for T1 throughout summer, throughout this year, and it's Gwen into the Aatrox.
Pulling the Gwen back out here. We'll see about the jungle pathing as well, if they can get up there. Those plus the support timings heavily influence that scaling. Gwen, if you can get to multiple items, what a monster.
But here's the problem. T1 are very low on engage. They don't have a whole lot of ways to start the fight outside of corruption. Hecarim for Pioshik.
Both these teams have thrown everything out of the window. They've come in with different strategies. A little bit of comfort as well. Pocket picks a piece. It's the last game of the year. It's the last game of these players this year. And they're going to put all the cards on the table. DRX have drafted Caitlyn, Bard, Hecarim into these immobile carries. And Zeus is going for Gwen to get advantage over Kingen in the side lane.
This is it. This is your Game 5 draft. This is T1 versus DRX. The Hecarim and the Bard of DRX going up against the Gwen and Faker's Victor yet again.
No more storylines. It all comes down to play now. One game in front of you. Execute on the draft. Caitlyn finally let through in the last game of the year. Paired with Beryl's Bard, will it be enough?
Will Faker break another record? Will Beryl be the first person outside of the T1 organization to do it back to back in terms of getting those two titles? Fell short last year in the finals in that Game 5 Beryl. He lost to EDG, but now he's in another Game 5. Faker is also no stranger to these Game 5 scenarios. It's the experience from the players of Faker and Beryl, and 4 players on either side that could hoist their first title.
It's not just a test of mechanics, it's a test of your mind, it's a test of your endurance, mental, emotional, physical. Everything is now on one final game of League of Legends. Faker versus Zeka, the greatest to ever do it, and one of the most impressive Worlds performances we've ever seen from an individual, head-to-head, one more time.
And Zeka has been a monster. Zeka has been punishing Faker over and over this series.
Level 1s seem a bit stock standard right now. Keria's very deep in the enemy jungle. I think DRX know that he's around there. Beryl's gonna base and swap over to Sweeper. We'll see if Keria can find a little bit of support gold here. T1 want to invade. It's a Hecarim. Hecarim is so weak level 1. It looks like they want to take away that buff. Pioshik knows it. Needs to be very careful though. He could face check all of T1. If he moves towards this bot side jungle, he's around mid right now. Thinks twice about it. Is he gonna...
Oh, this is so concerning.
Pioshik sees them.
Okay. Patience. The patience pays off. He waits. He goes for the safe route just over the wolves. T1 immediately on spawn.
Yeah, Keria can push him off these though. So Piosik's gonna lose his bot side jungle. Try to keep the Q-Sacks and move towards Raptors, clear up. What can DRX do with this Gumayushi? They're gonna try and zone him away from the lane, try to deny him some creeps.
That means you're gonna lose out though, because Owner got level 2 off blue buff, so now you're pushing the lane away. Jungle coming down to help out Guma, and Keria get right back to lane.
Yeah, Guma will pick up all the creeps, gets the experience, might lose a couple in terms of gold, so DRX get the wave in, and they're facing a split map scenario, but I think Owner will go through mid to top side and try to control these 3 quadrants.
I think it's really smart getting the early level 1 invade on this Hecarim. Very vulnerable champion to getting invaded upon. See if Pioshik can salvage some of this. Zeka, mid lane pressure, definitely has a big part, and if he can get something back. It's just the blue buff that was stolen away though, and DRX saw Viego going back into the jungle, so not going to be too heavy heavily hit.
And let's remember the state of the draft. It was Caitlyn left open, but it was Karma picked first. That means T1 really wants to be able to have push, wants to be able to have control in this bottom lane early. With the Karma and the Varus together, you can see Zeka pushing in Faker here early on in the mid lane matchup, as topside Zeus has lane control versus Kingen. In terms of the state of junglers, you can see it's still just Owner pathing through his jungle. He skipped Krugs, going towards that top part of the map. Pioshik's already done his recall.
Yes, he has at that. Just clear up red quadrant, very low health he was. You recall early for Hecarim, it's not that bad. You can still get your boots for the extra move speed, the extra damage conversion there, and go clean up his Gromp and Wolves. As we said, only the blue was taken, so not too heavily hit. There's no vision right now either. He can smite this grab and go for it.
Yeah, he could, but I think T1's bot lane are very cautious. TP on Varus, of course, into the Caitlyn. And this really stinks for DRX. They need this Caitlyn lane to get the push and start poking the Varus on the tower. The Karma is the factor that allows T1 to push back against the Caitlyn. Zeka needs to react to this flash W from Owner. He needs to react to it, otherwise he's going to die.
Owner does not give him the time. Zeka flashes late, and T1 takes first blood.
Genius move here from Owner over the back of the Raptor wall, and it's even worse for Zeka. He flashes afterwards and still dies because Faker's got the Q-empowered auto in the air.
Owner testing Zeka there. Zeka failed the test. First blood over to T1, and that kill will get him a Caulfield's in base. Owner now going to cycle back through his camps. Pyosik struggling to find anything. All these lanes from DRX are getting pushed in. The Aatrox, the Azir, the Caitlyn are sitting on the tower. If Zeka reacts to this flash W, then it's just an even trade and he'll TP back, but he doesn't. He steps back into it as he gets the auto attack weave in. And like you said, Kobe, the rub salt in the wound, he flashes and dies.
Yeah.
Now for Pioshik, what can he get back? It's Owner first to the play. Owner first to get his team going ahead. This Hecarim, he knows he has a lot of gank potential. He knows that if he can find the angle, there's moves to be made. The problem is, it's tough when T1 are playing right. Now, Owner's coming around again. Zeka has no flash, but he's able to get behind the minions. He'll get out of this one, but Owner really trying to index towards Faker in this mid lane early on in game 5.
Yeah, again, burning cooldowns, burning mana off of Zeka, taking away the safety of that vision, putting his own control ward right back up here so he can control this very important pathway here. Start up the dragon. They've got bottom lane pushing. The multiple ganks towards mid have gotten them mid pressure, so it's an easy first dragon for T1.
Pushing lanes because there's no real threat. The Hecarim needs level 6. Like you just highlighted there, Kobe, the pushing lanes are so powerful in letting you use neutral objectives, and T1 are aware of it. Shut down the Hecarim early. Pyosik needs to farm to 6 before he can impact the map, so T1 can start getting these early game advantages. Top crab spawning soon. Owner might path his way up there. Herald's in 2 minutes. Pyosik needs to get to 6 before that spawns. Looking for some Raptors though.
Trying to steal him away a little bit. Walks on up, pops Spirit of Dread. Gets himself right back out. And now top side, the fights continue. Zeus versus Kingen. Zeus with the ulti, finds a lot of needlework there into Kingen, who's not able to continue the trade after already using the cooldowns. And Owner will again look for Zeka in mid. He will chase him away as Faker absorbs this wave. Meanwhile, back in top, Q3 hits the mark. Infernal Chain, solo kill for Kingen in the top lane.
Best top laner in the world, who? 369 and Zeus is the discussion. Kingen's in the World Finals. He had an amazing game 3 and 4, and now in this game 5, solo kills Zeus.
When the pressure is on, it's Kingen who stands tall. What a beast. And he's gonna go for the recall right now as the wave is also slowly pushing into him. So Owner has to show himself on this top wave to push it in for Zeus. Such top lane difference here for Kingen. Back to back, this Aatrox pick again.
And this relieves so much pressure on DRX. Mid lane's been struggling, a lot of ganks towards there and focus from Owner. Deft and Beryl have been on a split map against the Karma support with Bard under their tower, but top lane is now winning. Herald is spawning in a minute. Kingen has the early serrated Durkins, can start pressuring this lane. Zeus even had the counter pick here. Gets level 6 here, Zeus, and I think he tries to find the all-in, but Kingen gets a small trade off. They reset, and then on the re-engage, Kingen kills him.
Exactly, goes for the minions, levels up, uses all of the needlework there. He knows Zeus has nothing left. The ghost was already used here, so Kingen right on in, hits the Q3. Infernal Chain means he's dead.
No way out. She turns right back into a doll and falls over as the Aatrox popping off here for DRX in the top side, keeping this game nice and close. Still 3 minutes until the next Drake spawns, but Herald's gonna be spawning soon. T1 have controlled early objectives so well in this game, but Owner's also got his eyes on the bottom lane of DRX. Deft has no resources to work with, and he must take a recall.
They're going to lose a couple plates here, DRX. T1, not only do they get the split map and the jungle invade, they also have TP on Gumayushi, so they get a free base. Deft struggling, Kingen is going to start up the Herald. It'll be a cross-map trade, but T1 are going to get so much from this play.
Yeah, Kadro, you were talking about Piosik's level 6 and where he's going to go. He's going straight to his winning lane with King in here. They started up on Vision, and again, T1 have made the call. They leave Guma pushing those plates on bottom.
But they can't finish the Herald. They know T1's ready to contest. Baker's coming up now too. Pioshik, defensive ulti over the wall. Kingen with a World Ender. He's stuck inside the gravity well, but he goes forward. Baker dies. Zeka gets it. The shuffle to get the rest of them away. Carry has made his way up into the top side. Barrel goes for the flash binding, but he won't grab it. DRX get the kill, and they're back onto the Herald.
My God, Kingen is playing out of his mind right now up against T1. They're at a disadvantage from the get-go because Piosik had to use so many resources to get out, but Kingen goes in. They secure this objective. They were supposed to in the first place, but T1 trying to fight them back, testing the waters in this topside river.
And Zeka doesn't miss a beat. He follows him right back up with the Azir. Flash, pushback play with the ultimate. DRX secure the Rift Herald for themselves. They wrest control back.
All bottom side though. Gumayushi with the level 6 versus level 5 advantage goes for the Chains of Corruption. Barrel getting away from Faker here as he retreats into the top side river. Faker will chase him as long as he can, but Barrel is already gone. Let's take another look at the Rift Herald fight.
Okay, so this is the setup, and you see both mid laners coming over through the river. Because Pioshik goes on this run through the enemy jungle, has to ult all the way around the outside. Kingen then is the one who takes charge. Goes right at Faker. Zeka, no hesitation, follows him to finish it off, and then pushes out Owner and Zeus so they can refocus on that Herald.
I wonder if he wants to push them in instead, and he's trying to finish off Faker as he dash forwards. Nevertheless, they get the kill, and they get the Herald. Kingen landing in all the sweet spots on that Aatrox, moving back towards top. Dragons up in 40 seconds. Barrel, of course, we saw off screen. He missed the flash Q like you highlighted, Flowers, and now he needs the level 6. They have the Herald if they want to brute force through a lane, but I feel like they need to repay depth in this lane disadvantage with the Herald.
And I think where he goes with that level 6 you're talking about is straight at Faker. That is a no flash victor now after the last play. So Bard ultimate is prime.
The Drake in 20 seconds. The first one already in T1's pocket. You can see them trying to maintain control over the bottom side river. Barrel gets a stun into the wall on Carrier to even out support health bars, but it's Pioshik being found by Owner here in the river. He's got to retreat. Viego's going to take care of him there in that 1v1. And with the enemy jungler half HP, T1 has control over the river to start the Drake. Now there is a control ward for DRX. They're going to see what's going on here. So Owner drags it outside the wall where there is no vision, but he does not have the confidence to stick around. DRX is still willing to contest this.
Kingen is the only reason they can contest this. He pushed in top all the way and he's moved towards mid. T1 wanted to start it up, but the Aatrox was collapsing down. Now in this 5v4 scenario, DRX will start it up. Zeus has TP. Kingen can TP back top though.
Exactly, it's a beautiful plan. They can make the play on Dragon, force 5v4, and then just have Kingen teleport back to his top turret.
Well, the Dragon's low. Owner's coming in. Is this going to be another steal? Barrel will block it with the CC. Beautifully buffered from Owner with a Heartbreaker to escape the Bard ulti. And that's DRX tying up the neutral objective count.
Kingen here going to go for the recall to purchase and then go back to top side. Because the wave already dealt with here at the tower from Zeus. Cannon minion moving in.
No flash on Faker. Pioshik has the ult. Zeka has the shuffle.
He's not going to get the angle just yet. Pioshik looking for it. There's your engage. Knocks him back out of the gravity well. Knocks him into the shuffle. Knocks him to his doom. And Zeka gets the kill. But now he's got to run. Remember, there's no ulti for Owner, but he's still going to grab the kill. 1-for-1 on mid laners as Zeus wants to run down Pioshik. Owner's ready to stolen his ear body means 2 for T1.
They're not out yet. Owner now going to ult over the back of the Raptors to escape.
Here comes Kingen.
Kingen's ready to go. Zeus is trying to retreat. Q1, Infernal Chains. Q2, but Q3 ain't gonna hit. Zeus walks out.
Faker falls, but it's the younglings of T1 and Zeus and Owner that carry him through the play. DRX are focusing down this mobile Victor, but they're ready to respond. Owner gets a couple kills back. Zeus chases Pyosik away, and it all comes off the back of this engage in mid, Kobe.
Exactly, Zeka starts it out. He doesn't want to fully commit at the beginning, waiting for the Hecarim here to get just close enough. Ults Faker back into the wall. They know he has no flash, so he can't disengage, but Owner's not gonna let them get away with that one. Nails the stun on Zeka, then picks up his body and is able to use his ear to get over the wall to follow up on Zeus's play.
Owner has targeted Zeka twice now with that Spectral Maw, and twice now he has found his mark. T1 are fighting back.
Herald used mid. Little bit of gold over to Zeka. Mythic in his favor, has the Ludens already. Faker has flash up, Zeka's ult's coming back off cooldown as well. 1 minute 30 seconds away from the Herald. DRX need to keep this mid pressure. Deft has been struggling in the lane phase. Herald used mid. Doesn't get a couple of plates gold. Needs to get towards that Mythic.
God, Owner has done so much for T1 this series.
Yeah.
So many clutch objective steals. And here, answering these kills in game number 5, setting themselves up to retake some vision, now working with Keria on that support roam timer. Meanwhile, Pyosik wants to look top. Zeus has no ghost.
Zeus also now without the W. Gwen is not immune. Pyosik with a devastating charge, bringing him right back into the range of Kingen, and Pyosik gets the kill.
Great setup there for the DRX top jungle. Kingen is 2 levels up on Zeus. Mid and bot have been a little bit even and behind for DRX on the bot side especially, but top lane, Kingen has been taking charge in this game 5.
And now bottom side, it's Gumayusi and Keria trying to push up as they know their top side has just taken another hit. Gumayusi and Keria, without having to deal with turret plates anymore, should be able to find the first turret of the game right here. Yes, they will. It's Gumayusi getting the credit.
They've been so powerful, so reliable, and they showed it. The first pick, Karma, instantly locking this one in. They pay their team back. They take down the first turret. Massive gold lead once again for Guma. And this time, he's on the lethality Varus, so that poke is really going to sting.
It is indeed Kobe, and Barrel's looking to cancel some bases there, try to stop the backs, try to give DRX more time around mid. Pyosik might look to get Faker's flash again, but Zeka gets stunned up. Barrel just trying to move up and down the river. Bot tower is down, so the Bard is free to roam.
And we can have them roam over to that Rift Herald. Rift Herald number 2 just arriving to the Rift now. So we'll see about this setup. No hesitation from DRX. They're helping Zeka get the mid push first.
And they're grouped up as a team. They're looking for picks. They're seeing what they can do.
Meanwhile, T1 again, they've got Guma on the bottom side, and with Guma channeling this recall here, looks like they, not gonna go for it. Teleport comes out here from Zeka though.
Guma also has a teleport to be able to join up. DRX have started the Herald, but T1's ready to fight for it. They're gonna bring Faker in with a TP now too. Caitlyn trap hits Zeus. He's gonna lose a little bit of HP, but a lot of patience being lost on the Herald now. Down to 1600, down to 1100, it resets. And now what about the fight? Pyosik at half HP. DRX still grouped up. T1 still trying to contest for this. Herald at 7,000. Kingen back into the pit. He stands alone from the rest of DRX now. He'll continue holding Herald aggro.
This could be the decider of the championship. Kingen off the side, Pyosik getting chunked out. T1 get the Herald.
Dragon's coming up pretty quickly here in 16 seconds. DRX gonna retreat through mid lane.
No, Zeka's gonna put some damage on him. Kingen stayed on the flank. He's gonna look for it, but a flash out from Faker keeps him safe. World Ender is a very important cooldown on a very fed member of DRX, but they've got prio, they've got first shot here with the bottom side objective now.
And they can just trade it. That's actually a pretty good trade for them, getting secondary tower. T1 though, you look at the response instantly with their macro. Owner goes top side, they've got the Rift Herald, they're gonna shove down these towers and make a hard push.
They might look for tier 2 as well. DRX have to use a lot of time to get this dragon down. Kingen's moving up, should be in time to cover it, but look at Faker, he's trying to back up the top jungle of T1. Trying to look for that second tower will be a huge gold injection into Zeus if they can get it. Kingen needs to be very careful here. Faker is still around. Keria's showing mid. Deft backing up his top laner. Zeus goes forwards.
Zeus trying to look for Kingen here, but Zeus losing a lot of HP. Still has the big shot of needlework, throws it out now. Kingen's gonna keep chasing him off. Ace in the hole, only hits Owner, no big deal. T1 will get the one turret there in the top side, but a defense on the tier 2 from DRX.
Small gold lead for T1, but DRX have that second dragon. Mountain Soul, incredibly powerful the longer this game goes on. can negate a lot of damage in these team fights. Zeka's gonna pick up the blue buff. All tower is still up for T1 though. DRX yet to crack one open. T1 have found two.
Guma has been so good with this Varus, with these snipes. I want to see what he can accomplish this game because the slow reduction on the Boots of Swiftness works on self-slows as well. We'll see if that means the difference between hitting the snipe, hitting the critical kill. Pyosik, though, making use of his move speed on Hecarim has been very lithe.
DRX's comp is very good at punishing no flash targets. Bard ultimate, the shuffle. Here it is!
Oh, but he misses. Gumayusi stepped forward to dodge, and now he has to flash to be able to get away. T1 will lose that critical summoner
Faker, no
spell
flash.
on their AD carry, but Faker's now the target. Devastating charge, onslaught of shadows, but not enough damage. Zeka has to get away as Owner's ready to follow up. Pyosik is too far forward, and Faker takes him out. Now Owner's got the charge to chase Zeka. He's gonna look for it. Barrel's ready to try to protect, and he gets him away on a magical journey.
It's Owner again to the rescue. He comes in for the counter on the Viego. He defends again. Faker now going to be able to push off the back of that. They've got the extra person advantage with Pyosik still sitting on a 12-second death timer. T1 pushing all 3 lanes.
It's the battle of the mid jungles. T1 coming out ahead. 100% kill participation for Owner and Faker. Ever since the start of the game, Owner's been trying his best to get Faker ahead. He is marginally in levels. Look at this again. Faker no flash lands the fear onto Faker, but Zeka can't do a lot of damage right now, and Owner is there to follow up. Flash stuns Pyosik, who has no ghost. They get the reset on the kill. They chase down Zeka, but he manages to get out.
Every time they go at Faker, he unloads a big combo. Pyosik, though, my goodness, going down so quickly there. Owner jumps on him. Gotta brush it off.
Yep. You just have to think about the next play. This is your last game. It's all decided here. TP coming in from Faker. T1 want to pressure down this mid tower. DRX not a lot of wave clear to respond.
Barrel's getting locked down, but he gets away. Lots more damage pouring in, but not enough to kill him just yet. Pyosik's coming around from the side. Kingan's on the flank now too. They're waiting on the TP to come in. Gumayushi's going to be targeted. He tries to get away, but he's going to die out first. Zeka's trying to get away. They're finding more damage as Owner's about to fall down to Pyosik now. Zeus wants to fight against Kingan. The maul keeps him alive, and DRX is winning the fight. Shadow was still ready. Faker dies. Zeka goes in, and Keria will die. 2-4 for nothing. DRX.
Pyosik brushes himself off, he gets back up, and he gets the engage to break the game open. That's going to be DRX on Baron. They take down 4 of T1. The flank from Pyosik on the top side, and then teleport in from Zeka.
DRX circled T1 like sharks, herding them in. T1 didn't find a response. Guma, can he steal it?
Guma will have to fire a hell of
What the fuck?
Gumayusi steals Baron to save this game.
The Varus pick! Again, with the empowered Q snipe, Guma snipes away the hopes of DRX.
I'm speechless. DRX, how? It's all falling apart again. Well, look at the play. DRX collapse onto T1. They get the kills, and they manage to pick up 4. Then they move towards the Baron. It comes off a great engage from Pyosik and Kingan. Deft almost dies to Zeus. The TP from Zeka was great for the flank. But again, they go towards Baron, and it all falls apart.
Again, you're exactly right. This is amazing. Zeka with the flank comes in. They get 4 kills off of this. Pyosik chases it through with the Hecarim. His ultimate came back up. They get Faker, they get Keria, but they don't get Baron. Holy.
DRX, I think
Moments before disaster.
Yeah, that's after the fight. I don't think
moments before.
How does Gumayusi get this? Does he even have vision? Blue Orb comes in, he must just about see it. The arrow of a lifetime. The steal of a lifetime from Gumayusi. That's twice in this series he's done it. T1 grab onto a miracle, and they have a chance in this game again.
T1 have more than a chance. They have a push here in the bottom lane. Everybody's ready to go. Zeka staying on the tier 2 in the top side. T1 have already broken the tier 3. They are looking for the inhibitor, and they will already take it.
Dragon's up. T1 want to move towards it. They got the inhib. Tier 2 top fell as well. Faker has flash.
He has the flash. Pioshik's trying to get it from him. Nice ulti coming out from Barrel, but Kingen is here in a 1v4. Kingen is about to die. He will drop. T1 has taken out the Fed player. Barrel gets away over the wall, and DRX are collapsing.
T1 are running this game now. The push in mid comes through, but Zeka's here to respond. Dragon is up, so that should be a pretty easy exit objective. 2,000 gold lead for T1 right now in this game 5.
The power of a single ability, a single steal. T1 picking up the kills, to pick up the dragon in the aftermath. That will haunt Pioshik forever.
They need to stay composed now, DRX. The siege is over. It's heartbreak again, but they've never failed to bounce back every single time. Level-headed, 2 items on the Caitlyn. Azir will be their late-game insurance, but T1 just got a massive injection of gold.
Absolutely incredible from T1. When the pressure is on, leave it to the winningest organization in the history of League of Legends to have the players, to have the composure, and to have the skill to claw their way back. What a series. What a game 5 as T1 continue their command over the Rift. Moving up, clearing the vision. Kingen is in a very precarious situation, perhaps.
Yeah.
They're gonna see him there with Owner's Sweeper. It will show the red silhouette. 4 minutes until the Drake, 2.5 minutes until the Baron. Not really any objectives to fight over. Pioshik activated the devastating charge, but meanwhile the T2, here on the top side, will fall to T1.
Zeka will respond with the bot tower, but a lot more gold into T1's back pocket. The cross map's okay. DRX will be in time to wave clear. Next Baron's up in 2 minutes. I think DRX are just stalling till that spawns. 2 dragons apiece. Small gold lead for T1. But I think it's going to be pretty even around these fights. It's going to be very nuanced onto who can find the carries. Can Kingen land multiple Qs? Can Pioshik find the engage onto Gumayushi? No Mikhail's up just yet.
Yep, again, you talked about it before, K-Drill. The barrel ultimate from Bard on one of these low mobility carries. Right now, Faker, no flash. If they can catch him, they can
Zeus.
follow it up with a trap. Zeus with the ghost instantly, though, for the move speed to run.
Yep, he can get out from it. Kimtech Putrefier, Kimtech Tank, I should say, was not used. Zeus still looking to maybe come back and fight this. Has the needlework ready. Pioshik goes on a magical journey. T1 now, Faker's very low. Kingen's fighting 1v2. He gets himself away. It's a defensive ulti from Owner back over the wall.
He almost won that fight. Faker didn't have the flash, but he manages to get away. DRX are going to clear out these waves. Inhib still down, of course. 1 minute away from the Baron, and everyone will shift their attention towards the top side of the map.
Look at that grab. What on earth? Look at that drop at 20 minutes
that's the
because
Baron
of the
right there.
seal. That's an arrow right through the gold chart. T1 and DRX leaving it all on the Rift here today. T1 about to take out their 7th turret.
DRX have bounced back from worse situations in game, though. Again, refocus on the task at hand. This is the last game of the year. Barrel now trying to fight for some vision. Instantly disengages.
Yup. He knows how dangerous this is. He knows how deadly that fog of war is. With 30 seconds until the Baron spawns, T1 have control over the topside river.
And we're going to keep our eyes on Faker. With this Lichbane build here, you can pump out a lot of damage if you can stay in a dangerous range, auto-attack range of your opponents. Can he stay safe, though? Still waiting on a few more seconds from his flash cooldown. Purchases up the stopwatch for himself.
Yep. Mid push still coming in. DRX need to crack this mid tier 1. It's such a pain to get vision. It's really hard to walk in enemy jungle when that tower is up. T1 still have a lot of topside vision. Faker pushes in the waves all the way to tier 3. DRX barely trying to get vision in their own jungle. Baron is up with the poke Varus. It's not as fast as they might want, but with Viego and Victor, they can rush it down. Kingen has the TP.
Exactly. Kingen trying to push out that bottom wave and wait for T1 to start it. Here it comes. They don't have the best turn off of Baron. They don't have the best pick here for T1. It would have to come from Guma with the ultimate from Varus, sniping someone.
That's really the only engage mechanism available to T1. Def's going to utilize the range of the Caitlyn there to try to safely clear out some of these wards, putting the traps inside the brush just to make sure if anybody steps too far forward, they're going to be caught out. Mist from Viego will allow him to step a little bit further forward. Inhib respawns at a pretty critical timer here for the side of DRX, but Barrel is about to die. Zeus gets it, and that could be big for T1.
DRX need to move in here. They need to look for a steal. Piosik's only way over is the ultimate. There's no way out. They need some vision. Pink ward in the pit will spot the Baron. Piosik's in the vicinity.
Piosik's looking for it, but Carrier's zoning him away. T1 took some serious damage there from the Baron. They're going to get chased off.
Against all odds again, DRX numbers disadvantage. They hold on, Dragon up in 20. They're shifting their eyes down towards this bot side. T1 need to take a base. Level 16 is here right now. The range on DRX is so powerful. T1 are struggling.
Barrel's going to be back up for this Dragon, coming straight from base. Here we go.
Look at Piosik. He's moving his way
Wrapping around.
around. Trying to keep the
He wants to
stack.
flank. He has ult ready.
Yeah, he's going to look for a flank onto the carries. T1 are completely unaware of his positioning. They'll see this push here and maybe spot out Kingen, but they won't know where Piosik is.
Zeus is going to walk towards the brush, but he won't take a ton of damage there from Kingen's surprise attack. Kingen makes his way into the pit. Piosik is still behind them. Owner takes a chunk. Drake at about 5,000. Zeus gonna move into the pit. He's ready for that angle now. Carrier, Owner, both chunked a little bit. Zeka and the rest of DRX are not damaging the Drake any further. They're gonna allow it to reset. Kingen to a flank. Kingen finds Carrier right when they need it most. But now he takes some damage back. He has to walk it off. The Drake's at 4K. A little bit of damage over the wall. Barrel's trying to block it. Dragon is secured. Gumayushi is down. And T1 are trying to fight back. Piosik's under fire. He will drop. It is a 2 for 3 for 2 in the fight. Excuse me, but what kind of League of Legends are we watching? Good Lord.
Madness is what we're watching. Piosik gets the Dragon this time. DRX secure the objective. They secure the smite. And Kingen in the brush immediately deletes Carrier. Hello.
Yeah, just walks onto the trap. He gets blown up
Headshot.
instantly. DRX, even though the flash came in, and then Guma has to flash, so then the Bard ult from Beryl lands onto Gumayushi, but I feel like DRX really overcommit onto the Varus and walk into the waiting arms of Zeus and Owner. They managed to get the AD carry down. They invest so much, however, that Owner gets the resets.
Look at that. Owner blasting them, picking up the Aatrox body from the fed Kingen as well, and zapping down the last kill. Gold pretty close still with the extra Dragon here leading up to Soul Point now. And Carrier knows. Walking into that trap, into that brush, into that Aatrox.
It's the same story as the entire series. Gold lead over to T1, Dragon lead over to DRX. They're on Soul Point. They're happy waiting the game out. Deft's getting closer and closer to that Infinity Edge breakpoint. When he gets that item, he's going to do out so much damage, and he's so very close. T1 wants to play. The side laners aren't even pushing sides anymore. It looks like they're grouping up. Zeus is going towards top now, but Kingen is hovering around the bot side jungle.
DRX have mid pushed out. It is a lot of focus here on this mid lane. Both teams now taking an opportunity, resetting a little bit. Baron is on the map, no Drake for 3 minutes. Critically, DRX did get the objective in that last fight. Zeus gonna back away as he sees Beryl here. DRX still maintaining a defensive position, seeing if there's anything to find, but Zeus gets away with the blast cone. The game, only 2,000 gold apart, 30 minutes in. Now the Infinity Edge, active for Deft, is going to be a big difference maker.
Zeus close to the Rabadons as well. A moment to take a breath. And San Francisco, are you not entertained?
A little bit of extra speed there for Piosik. That devastating charge isn't going to be used for a whole lot just yet. Zeka with the Ludens, with the Shadow Flame, Banshee's Veil now completed. T1 still defending the mid lane tier 1 turret. It is 3 turrets to 7. T1 have taken many, many more objectives this game. Zeus will move into the pit. He'll clear out some of the vision. Beryl gets poked down by some of the fire from Gumayushi's arrows.
2 minutes on Dragon. Soul Point, of course, for DRX. Let's not forget. The Baron dance continues around vision, around this wave in mid. DRX really need this tower if they want to start controlling the map. T1 have been holding on.
And as they dance, again, Guma has no flash. He dodged away from the Bard ultimate this time, but DRX still push in. They get what they came for.
That Bard ultimate, it was just to create space for a couple of seconds. Zeus running away from Kingen. Zeus has level advantage here. Kingen doesn't find sweet spot on the Q3, but he's got backup. Zeus is going to be caught. DRX moving in for the T1 top lane, and they got him 5v1.
Keegan's got teammate advantage. DRX rally around their top laner. Now with that extra kill, they can easily push down topside and slip into this barren river.
40 seconds on Zeus and he has TP. DRX still have a couple of ultimates to work with. They've had so much heartbreak around this Baron. Are they willing to start it up again? Owner's alive. T1 have the mid push. They're going all for it. All the cards are on the table.
Flank, flank, flank. They're wrapping around.
Yep, keep your eyes on Pioshik and on Beryl. DRX, they don't even have their jungler in the pit. They are not going to commit to the Baron. They are looking for some sort of a play. Beryl is burning, but they're ready. They're turning. Pioshik has Faker. Carrier barely lives. He's trying to run away, but Zeka and Pioshik are still chasing him down. A bullet to the head, and Death pulled the trigger.
They get the flank off. Carrier fights it, and T1 tried to attack it, but it still works. Pioshik finds Faker.
And Faker doesn't have TP. DRX don't even go towards the Baron. Dragon Soul's up in 35 seconds. They know they have a few seconds of a time window to force down the Dragon. What's the call here from DRX? They're avoiding the Baron. We're going to look at this fight again. Zeka is the hero.
Carrier here, look at this. He finds the flank, and T1 all come to try and attack it. Beryl so low, heals himself, but that just leaves the opening. Pioshik and Zeka. You mentioned the Azir sweep. He hits Faker with it, dies before the body hits the ground.
We need to go back to live. The ult comes out onto Carrier. Looks like DRX have based. They're on this Dragon, but T1 are going to threaten a Baron rush, so DRX will get the soul. Pioshik's here.
Beryl will try to keep everybody away, try to interfere as much as he can. Pioshik and Zeka working on the Drake. 5,000 HP left. Death wants to get away. A lot of threat coming out from the needlework. Kingan's very low. He goes into the stasis. He's still going to live, but only for a moment. Kingan down. Soul for DRX, but it'll be Baron for T1.
They're going to force on it and try and make DRX come to them. 5v4 advantage. They're burning it down. Owner has smite. Pioshik does not.
No Kingan. No Kingan. This has to be a no-go for DRX. They will back away now.
You're absolutely right, Flowers. Deft was really low HP as well. Had to use the summoners to escape. T1 managed to get the Baron in trade for the soul. DRX were trying to stall them, so they just ran headfirst into them to force the fight. Pushed back Deft, killed Kingan. And now what can T1 get done with this Baron? The soul will last forever. The Baron's only going to be up for a couple minutes.
Very dangerous pushing on the side lane as well. Now that death cap has come in for Zeus, total damage done at the top of the charts. Both top laners. Let's take a look at the spread though. 1-3-1 initially. Zeus
Doesn't see them. They've gone back to base.
gets the outline.
Zeka gets the rabbit on, so this is here getting closer and closer to full build.
This is the game 5 we were promised. This is the perfect ending to this series. Both teams are just battling here in game number 5. Deft with the Caitlyn working on that 4th item. It's not been a fantastic game for him, falling behind early on. But now that he's fed, now that it's late game, things are going to be a little scary. Faker at half HP, Ace in the hole, doing a good job chunking him out. And DRX, they've dropped the Sun Disc there in mid. But there's nothing to play for here on the top side. Baron still under the possession of T1.
DRX make a nice hard push on mid and top lane to try and nullify and reduce the amount that T1 can get with this Baron. They're just trying to delay, because then they come out ahead with the power of this Mountain Soul.
Oh, nice.
Baron buff wasting away.
Yeah, and Deft's getting closer and closer towards that Bloodthirster. Caitlyn can become so powerful. T1 don't actually have a reliable auto-attack champion other than the Viego and the Gwen. Their AD carry is a poke champion, whereas Deft will get closer to 6 items. Azir as well. Such powerful late-game scalers that will melt through T1, so they want to push their advantage while they have this Baron buff. Only 1 minute left on it.
And remember, the only real catch or engage on T1 is the ulti from Gumayushi. He was the hero with the arrow back at the Baron, but now T1 are trying to use what's left of this 45 seconds of Baron buff.
Look at these wards behind T1. They need to be really careful if they overstep. Kingan can TP behind them.
Zeus will be ready and waiting for Pioshik. Pioshik's gonna have to ult out of this one, you would think. No! Gumayushi gets the kill, and T1 are 5v4.
Guma nailed him with the chains of corruption, and Pioshik falls. 40 more seconds on his death timer now, and look at this. The brush play from Kingan. Can he pull it back?
Baron buff falling off in 15 seconds. Bot lane inhibitor is open. Zeus might be caught here, Kingen.
Zeus does not have an ulti. They used it for the pick. Now he's going to try to run from Kingen, who keeps the chase going. Q2 finds him. Q3's not going to get nothing more than a chicken. DRX still trying to hold on. Deft backing away. Zeka backing away. T1 looking for the inhib. You would think they should be able to find this one, no problem. There it is. T1 take bot lane inhib for the second time this game.
I can't imagine how much pressure all of these players are under in this game 5. T1 managed to crack that inhibitor like you highlighted, Flowers, but they still have the Mountain Soul. The pick didn't net them an end. Elder's up in 2 minutes 20, Baron's up in 2 minutes 40, roughly the same time on the spawns. So they're going to need to juggle both the objectives to make sure, most importantly, the Elder doesn't go over for free.
So much riding on this next team fight. Instantly picking up as many stopwatches as you can. Guardian Angel over here. Zhonya has been there for Faker.
Yeah.
Key disengages. This fight means everything.
What a series. This one's delivering, man. Everything I hope for. Everything I hope for is what we're getting, and now we're seeing so many champions get so powerful. Just like it's been this whole series, it's gonna come down to execution.
Yep.
It's gonna come down who can really stand tall in these biggest of moments.
It's going to be a very fitting ending to what has been such a beautiful story between these two teams. T1, the bounce back and the struggles from MSI, and DRX, the surprise to the world. Elder up in 1 minute 20 seconds. Trying to contest a little bit of bot side vision here. T1 looking to see if they can find a pick.
DRX don't have to deal with a Baron anymore, but they still have to deal with walking into the fog that is their own bottom side jungle. T1 will clear out any wards they come across. They still have a small gold lead, but at 39 minutes into the game, it's not that big of a deal. Bloodthirster for depth. A little bit of extra survivability, sustainability here in the fights.
We've mentioned multiple times how little CC T1 have to work with. They gain so much from being at the objective first, forcing DRX to go through these small pathways, let them hit the skill shots. Guma on the front line.
Guma's on the front line. Ace in the hole is only going to hit the shield.
The last time T1 went to a Game 5 in a World Championship was against Damwon, and it came down to an Elder Dragon fight. Here we are, a year later in the finals. Same story.
Barrel goes to the ulti, but Faker has fast enough feet to barely dodge forward out of it.
Guma no flash, Guma no ultimate. Owner blows up the blast cone though. Kingen finding his way around. This Aatrox, a pest in the T1 side. They're going through mid though.
Yeah, they're going through mid here. T1, DRX are pinging this top wave. There's a threat of an end. Kingen's on the flank.
Kingen's looking for it. He has been the X factor, but Barrel's gonna die. He barely gets away. Pioshik's on the retreat. Barrel stays alive somehow. Redemption's coming down, it's gonna heal him up. T1 moved in. Kingen was not able to respond there with the flank. He'll steal the enemy red buff for the upcoming fight. T1 chunking out the health bars, decide to go for the Elder. Kingen's still ready. TP coming back in for DRX. Zeus and Owner here in the pit. Zeus goes over the wall, but Kingen's ready to find him. Q1, Q2 finds his place back inside the pit. Drake gonna slightly reset.
Gonna come down to a smite fight. Kingen ult is off. Barrel has the ultimate back up. No carries on the flashes.
Look at the trap line. Look at the Caitlyn. He's trying to stun him away. Owner goes in. Owner is down. The Drake secured. T1's jungler trying to go. T1's going for the base. They're going for the Nexus. Can they do it in time? Kingen comes back. Elder Drake at the ready. But what can he do? Q3, no damage just yet. Elder Drake, the execute. Zeus is down. DRX, hold on.
Kingen, he gets back, he does it! Gumayushi's gonna find the ultimate onto Pioshik, but they still have the Elder Dragon buff on DRX. They're gonna run straight back into the hearts of T1.
Can they end? Is this it? T1 are so vulnerable and wounded. DRX have the Elder Dragon. 4 members down. It's on Gumayushi to hold the line. DRX are coming for their World Championship title.
The Cinderella story! DRX are pushing in!
DRX, they're on to inhibitor turret number 1. Only Keria is going to be up. It's still 10 seconds on Owner. DRX will march forward. Keria wants to hit the wave. Kingen goes to the Whirlwinder. Gumayushi is dead. They have been doubted. They have been discounted. They have been dismissed. But DRX are your 2022 World Champions.
they complete the miracle run.
We have just witnessed the most incredible story in history. DRX have done it. T1 are shell-shocked. They're stunned.
No fourth seed had even made it to finals, let alone winning the world championship. Deft in his 10th year.
He won the world title. He's won MSI, he's won LPL, he's won LCK, he's won Rift Rivals against Korea and China, but he's never won a world championship, and he's done it. He's done it.
One of the greatest finals in League of Legends history. People are going to be watching that VOD for years to come until the servers go down. What a show from these two teams.
Deft beats Keria. They wanted the title together. Only one could walk home victorious. And Deft has had to see so many of his former teammates succeed without him.
All of the emotion. The whole year boiled down to this. The group of friends that made the miracle run. Through all the objective steals. The mentality of diamonds. Untiltable, unassailable, DRX world champions.
What DRX needed may have been found, and he's got to stack up the rent. He's got to stack it and pull it, and it's not gonna happen. Scout has nowhere to go. Knocked up by Ash and shut down by Death. Yoshi gets the Ocean Soul. DRX don't need a top laner. They got a summoner spell. Thorn goes into the big binder, and he is taken out in his domination for the team. 8 years ago, Death fell to his sister team in Samsung White, but today, in the face of insurmountable odds, he stands tall.
Faker's lost half HP. Faker is nearly down. Hostile takeover over the wall. Wish from Soraka will heal the mid laner, but Maokai says no. DRX ready to fight back again.
League of Legends World Champions, DRX! Well, it's my pleasure to introduce you to 3 people that would like to congratulate DRX on their victory. Nicolas Laurent, CEO of Riot Games, John Needham, President of Esports, and Naz Alataa, Global Head of League of Legends Esports.
An unforgettable Worlds run. Tonight truly goes down in League of Legends history. And to commemorate your achievement, we are honored to present you with the Summoners Cup and the 2022 World Championship rings. On behalf of League of Legends Esports, on behalf of Riot Games, Congratulations, DRX, on your historic victory. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for helping congratulate our champions. I'm so happy I get to talk to them. Thank you, Ji-sun, for helping me. I don't even know where to begin, but I'm going to give everyone a chance to enjoy this moment. But maybe I want to start with Kinging, because what an unbelievable Game 5, and I'd love to know what was said before getting into that Game 5 and how you look back on your own performance in helping DRX getting the World Championship.
우선 가장 먼저 킹킨 선수에게 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 5세트도 정말 극적인 한 판이었는데요. 5세트에 임하면서 어떤 주문을 되뇌이며 어떤 부분에 준비하면서 마음을 추스렸는지, 그리고 킹킨 선수의 이번 시리즈 활약을 어떻게 평가하시는지, 어떻게 DRX를 우승까지 이끌었다고 생각하시나요?
일단 마인드 같은 경우에는 저희가 항상 되새기는 게 뭔가 재밌게 하면 좀 영광스러운 이런 자리라든지 아니면 저희가 좀 궁극적으로 이제 이기고 지기고가 중요한 게 아니라 재밌게 하자를 마지막 세트까지 그렇게 얘기하면서 했던 것 같고, 사실 제가 정규 시즌 때는 굉장히 좀 제 스스로도 만족하지 못하고 좀 불만족스러운 경기를 많이 했다고 생각을 해요. 근데 결국 제가 마지막에 있는 거 보니까 제가 이때 동안 걸어왔던 길들이 결국 제가 이 자리에 있게 하기 위해서 그렇게 힘들고 했던 것 같아요. 되게 영광스러운 자리를 제가 하게 돼서 너무 기분 좋은 것 같습니다.
So we always have this mindset in our mind, regardless of the, size of the stage we're going on, it's a glorious stage. So I just wanted to make sure that we are having fun, we are enjoying the moment. It doesn't have to be winning or losing. We wanted to just enjoy playing this game. And looking back my regular split, I was underperforming. I was not happy with how I performed, but now I'm the last man standing. I got to realize that every step that I took was worth it, and it made who I am right now.
Wonderful. Next up, I'd like to go to you next, Deft. 10 years of fighting for this, milestone after milestone after milestone, this tournament so far, but now the highest honor in League of Legends. What does it mean to you to finally be able to call yourself a League of Legends world champion?
데프트 선수 정말 축하드립니다. 10년간의 정말 커리어 끝에 이렇게 리그 오브 레전드 최고의 영광스러운 자리에 오르게 되었는데요. 이번 토너먼트를 통해서 계속해서 새로운 기록을 세우고 새로운 기록을 세운 끝에 이렇게 월드 챔피언이 되셨습니다. 마침내 월드 챔피언이 되신 소감 부탁드립니다.
나이도 먹어서 이제 울면 안 되는데 자꾸 울어가지고 죄송하고. 저는 사실 이 자리에서 뛰는 거랑 이제 이기고 나서 이 자리에 서는 것까지 사실 저희가 데뷔한 이후로 하루도 빠짐없이 상상만 했던 일인데 그게 현실이 돼서 너무 좋은 것 같고, 또 사실 이 자리에 서면은 언젠간 말하고 싶었던 말이 있는데, 이제 제가 세상에서 제일 잘한다고 이 자리에 섰을 때 말하고 싶었는데 이 자리에 서고 나니까 그냥 제가 잘하는 게 중요한 게 아니고 그냥 저를 포함한 저희 팀이 제일 잘하는 게 제일 중요한 것 같아요. 그래서 저를 포함한 이제 저희 팀원들이랑 감독 코치님 또 프론트 분들까지 그냥 다들 너무 감사드립니다. 그리고 네, 팬분들도 너무 감사드립니다.
First off, apologies to everyone because I am too old to cry like this, but I'm really overwhelmed right now. And ever since my debut, every single night I've been dreaming about myself winning World Championship, going to the finals, winning the very last match, but it was only a dream, but now I made it, so I'm so happy right now. And at the same time, there was one thing that I wanted to say once I get up the stage after winning the World's finals, which was, I'm the best player in the world, but today, I got to realize myself being the best player doesn't matter. It's about our team being the best team in the world, and today we were the best team. And I want to say thank you to all the players, all the coaching staff, everyone worked for DRX, and also obviously all the fans out there. Thank you.
Well, everyone played their heart out today, and not in the least Zeka. Zeka, what an unbelievable year and what an unbelievable rise to the top. There were many that doubted you along the way in the past, but you proved them all wrong today. How does it feel to become a world champion?
제카 선수 또 올 한 해 정말 눈부신 성력을 보여줬고 또 정말 엄청난 퍼포먼스를 이번 월드에서 보내주셨는데요. 이렇게 많은 분들이 과거에 제카 선수를 의심했지만 이번 자리에서 우승을 통해서 그들이 모두 틀렸다는 걸 증명하셨습니다. 소감이 어떠신가요?
일단 말로 설명할 수 없는 기분이고 사실 저도 울고 싶었는데 옆에서 혜경이 너무 시원하게 울어줘서 저 대신 잘 울어준 것 같고 일단은 같이 해준 팀원들 너무 고맙고 이 자리까지 올 수 있는 것도 말도 안 되는데 너무 다 잘해준 것 같아요.
This year was crazy. It's impossible to describe how I'm feeling right now. I almost felt like I was crying, but at the same time, Def was crying so much. So thank you, Def, for taking my spare of crying. And I want to say thank you to all my teammates for working so hard, and thank you, everyone.
Okay. And Pioshik, if I am honest, I think it was quite a difficult series for you in the beginning, but it is unbelievable how you turned it around. Can you tell me about keeping your focus and keeping your confidence in order to bring it home?
이제 표식 선수 사실은 이번 경기를 전부 다 놓고 봤을 때 초반에는 표식 선수에게 굉장히 어려운 흐름도 나왔던 것 같은데요. 어떻게 이렇게 계속 집중력을 유지하면서 마지막까지 좋은 경기력을 보여주고 자신감을 유지해서 이런 대역전이 나올 수 있었다고 생각하시나요?
사실 오늘 경기는 이제 며칠 전 스크림 이런 게 아니고 저희가 시즌 초부터 하나하나씩 닦아놓고 배워나가면서 또 감코진과 선수분들이 다 저한테 많은 정보를 알려주고 너무 잘 가르쳐줘서 되게 이럴 땐 어떻게 하고 어떻게 할지 이제 롤드컵 와서 되게 잘 보였던 것 같습니다.
I want to say the result we have today, it's not about how the scrim went like last week's. It's more about every games we played throughout the year, every lessons that my coaching staff taught me and how I should perform at Worlds, how I have to cope with all the difficulties, and it worked out.
It definitely did. And then Beryl, a Bard in Game 5, which was unbelievable. Can you first tell me why the choice for the Bard in that all-important game?
베리 선수 가장 먼저 5세트에 등장한 바드에 대해서 여쭤보고 싶습니다. 가장 중요한 순간에 바드 픽한 이유가 무엇인가요?
일단 할 수 있는 픽이 여러 가지 있었는데 그 중에서도 그냥 라인전이 힘들더라도 오늘 경기에서 후반을 좀 많이 가는 것 같아서 조합을 그냥 최대한 맞춰주려고 선택했던 것 같아요.
So I had plenty of options, and then I was like, as long as my pick can go through lane, because I realized today's series we're going to the late games, so I was like, I would rather round out the comp for my teammates.
Yes, a visionary. And Beryl, you went to the World Championship final 3 times in a row, and you've won it 2 out of those 3 times. You are the best support in the world. What do you think makes you so good and has made you so good these last 3 years?
베릴 선수는 지난 3년간 계속해서 월드 결승에 진출하셨고요. 그중 2번은 우승을 달성하셨습니다. 이렇게 베릴 선수가 지난 3년간 서포터로서 셋째 포수로서 놀라운 활약을 보여줄 수 있는 비결이 뭐라고 생각하시나요?
일단 솔직히 오늘 한정에서는 상대팀 캐리어 선수도 되게 잘했다고 생각하는데 저희 팀이 좀 더 되게 차분하고 잘했다고 생각해서 오늘 경기를 이겼던 것 같아요.
Just looking at today, I want to say Kyria also performed really well, but I think our team was the one being a lot more calm and collected.
Okay. Pioshik, maybe you know what's coming. When you won your quarterfinal, you did a little victory ceremony, and I saw you did it again actually in Atlanta. Do you feel comfortable doing it again?
팩시 선수 어떤 게 다가올지 이미 좀 예상하신 것 같은데 8강도 승리하고 멋진 세레머니를 보여주셨고요. 아틀란타에서도 멋진 세레머니 보여주셨는데 이 자리에 다시 한번 우승 세레머니 부탁드려도 될까요?
I'm not sure again what it was, but I'm sure we'll find out. Oh, maybe Hecarim.
어떤 세레머니였나요?
헤카림이 이기고 망자의 갑옷까지 얻고 이동속도 600까지 올라가는 그런 모습이었습니다.
It's myself as a Hecarim with the movement speed boost with the E skill, also the active items, and hitting 600 movement speed.
Nice. This is one of my favorite parts of Worlds, I gotta say. I have a couple of more questions for you, Deft. When we look back at the 10 years that you've been playing, what has been your motivation through all that time? Because many other players would have given up and would have not kept fighting.
그리고 데프트 선수에게 다시 한번 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 지난 약 10년이 가까운 이런 커리어 중에서 어떻게 계속 스스로 동기부여가 될 수 있었는지, 사실은 대부분의 선수였다면 정말 포기하고 주저앉을 수 있었을 텐데 데프트 선수가 이렇게 계속 동기부여를 할 수 있었던 원동력이 무엇이었나요?
우선 제가 제일 잘할 수 있는 게 롤이고, 여기서 마저 제가 최고의 성적을 못 거두고 그만두게 되면은 그냥 앞으로 살면서 무슨 일을 하든 실패할 거라고 생각해서 너무 포기하고 싶었는데 포기할 수가 없었던 것 같아요.
So I knew that my best talent is League of Legends, and if I cannot be the best player in the world after playing League, I was telling to myself I will not find any success in my life, and I didn't want to give up.
And we are very happy for that. Deft, would you like to take this moment to talk to all the fans, not just here supporting you around the world and especially back home in Korea?
마지막으로 이제 여기 있는 많은 팬분들뿐만 아니라 또 한국에 계신 팬분들께 한마디 부탁드립니다.
사실 10년이라는 시간이 이제 저뿐만 아니라 팬분들까지도 다들 엄청나게 긴 시간이었을 거라고 생각하는데, 그 시간 동안 정말 제가 힘들 때 쓰러지지 않도록 항상 버텨주셔서 이렇게 이 자리까지 올 수 있었던 것 같고, 네, 다들 오랜 친구 같아서 네, 정말 감사합니다.
It's been 10 years for me, and it has been a long time for my fans as well. And they were there always when I was having a hard time. They were there for me. It feels like my fans are my good old friends. I want to say thank you.
And well, while the Summoners Cup has a new home for next year, there's still one more honor left to award this evening. Experts from every competitive region around the world have weighed in, and now it is time to meet the 2022 OnePlus Finals MVP.
Looks rough, but Trevor, you're still not done.
No, we're not. Way away. Will he survive? Counter-Strike
row can be like, yo, 5v2, 2 picks, Trimby should know. Trimby saw them. I think he saw them come in.
The fabled support Heimerdinger Death Brush, though. We finally got it.
Stays alive. Double stun. Death will not fall. Zeka will not allow it. Going with the quadra kill in his first ever World Championship.
And now Pioshik is here and Mark is in trouble. Zeka arrives and he has the solo ulti. Jackie's gonna go down.
Oh, look at that. Jackie's caught up. DRX with the fight.
Oh my god, Feral played that so incredibly well. He held his wall for so long.
And he's gonna put the stopwatch now as well. Flandre needs to live. Get a bit of healing, but it's not gonna be enough. Jinja mostly left alone. Knocked up and slain. And Jeff will take another head. And another. And another. And that's gonna steal the deal. I can't help myself.
It is my pleasure to introduce your 2022 OnePlus Finals MVP, Kingen! Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations, Kingen. How much did you expect this after, I guess, especially your Game 5 performance?
킹겐 선수 정말 축하드립니다. MVP에 선정되실 것을 어느 정도 예상하셨는지, 특히나 5경기 경기력이 대단하셨는데요. 이렇게 파이널스 MVP에 선정될 걸 예상하셨나요?
예상한 것 같고 그만큼 제가 좀 4, 5경기 때만 되면 항상 뭔가 좀 뭐에 홀린 듯이 좀 검투사 정신이 발휘한 건지 상대를 못 죽이면 내가 죽는다는 마인드로 약간 야수의 심장으로 임하다 보니까 좀 마지막에 포텐이 좀 많이 터진 것 같아요.
I kind of saw it coming because whenever I had the game 4 and 5, I become a duelist, you know. I go all in or go home, you know. I always look for fights. I become a beast. And then I was able to get this, you know, performance.
Unbelievable. He was a beast indeed. Kingen, when you look at kind of the whole year and the struggles that DRX has had, but also the fact that you never let up and you always kept achieving your goals even though people counted you out. How do you look back on the journey you have traveled this entire year?
그러면 킹겐 선수 올 한 해 여정 어떻게 돌아보시는지 궁금합니다. 사실은 많은 분들이 또 의심을 하기도 했고 많은 분들이 응원을 보내주지 않은 순간도 있었는데 올 한 해 여정을 놓고 보면 어떤 감상이 드시나요?
제가 정규 시즌 때부터 지금 이 자리에 있기까지 제가 사실 좀 생긴 거랑은 다르게 되게 뭔가를 추진하는 거에 대해서 굉장히 고민도 많이 하고 뭔가 많이 망설이는 성격 때문에 뭔가 보시는 분들도 좀 많이 답답한 장면이라든지 좀 아쉬운 장면이 많이 나왔던 것 같은데 좀 이제 월즈로 오게 되면서 이제 감독님이 항상 하시던 말이 이 승부의 세계에서는 망설이는 사람이 지게 된다고 그렇다고 이제 막 생각 없이 하는 건 아닌데 이제 망설이는 사람이 진다 이 말을 되게 많이 해주셨단 말이에요. 그게 제 플레이에 많이 영향을 준 것 같고 그래서 오늘 과감한 플레이도 좀 잘 성공을 해서 이런 자리까지 만들어진 거라고 생각합니다.
Throughout the domestic league, I'm pretty sure that I was underperforming because unlike how I look, I actually hesitate a lot. You know, I know a lot of fans were also frustrated because I was not giving a go for the aggressive plays. But heading into this Worlds, our coach Song, he always told me the one who hesitates is the one that loses, and that has become a motto for my play. That has impacted my play the most, and I always kept that in mind. And today, I was able to pull off the aggressive moves.
Okay. Awesome to also credit the coaching staff, which are always so important in these victories. So I want to give you the floor to maybe say something about all the people that surround DRX and make sure that you can play your best game.
그렇다면 이제 DRX에 계시면서 이제 킹겐 선수가 최고의 퍼포먼스를 보여줄 수 있게 도와주신 모든 분들께 혹시 하고 싶은 말씀이 있는지 궁금합니다.
어떻게 보면 식상할 수도 있지만 제가 힘들 때부터 좀 보시느라 힘들었던 우리 엄마 아빠랑 그리고 우리 할머니랑 할아버지까지 너무 고맙고 그리고 이제 봐주셨던 팬들도 좀 많이 감사하고 제가 막상 이런 멘트를 좀 준비해 오면 뭔가 잘 할 수 있을 것 같았는데 막상 좀 잘 안 되네요. 그래서 마지막으로 하고 싶은 말은 그냥 제 주위에 있었던 모든 사람들한테 너무 기다려줘서 고맙다는 말 하고 싶고 이번에 우승했지만 이제 내년도 절대 자만하지 않고 항상 배운다는 마음가짐으로 내년도 화이팅 해보겠습니다. 감사합니다.
This might sound a little bit boring, but first off, I want to start off by say thank you to my mom and dad, and also my grandma and grandpa, who has been supporting me throughout all this time, and also all the fans who have supported me. And I want to say everyone that was around me, who supported me, and who was just like being next to me, watching me become a professional player and supporting me, I want to say thank you for following my journey. And I thought of preparing a script for this to be better at it, and it's harder than I expected. But yeah, I want to say thank you to all the people that were around me. Thank you.
I think he did great, for sure. Fans in San Francisco and everybody around the world, join me once again in congratulating your 2022 OnePlus Finals MVP, Kingen. And now you can rejoin your team and raise the Summoners Cup crafted by Tiffany & Co. one more last time as the League of Legends World Champions.
이제 팀원분들과 함께 트로피를 들어올리면서 우승의 순간을 만끽하도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
And there you have it. DRX will not be denied. Deft will not be denied. His world championship. It went the distance. They were pushed in every possible way. But every member on this team showed up today to bring it home.
There could have been like another Baron steal. They got a lot more neutrals.
Jesus, man.
This is the greatest underdog story in the history of League of Legends.
Yeah.
There's never been a team in world history that has been underestimated in the way that DRX has. And the thing is, it feels weird to call them underestimated because they were rated aptly. They were not good coming into this World Championship, yet the level of growth has been phenomenal. What an incredible experience it has been to watch this team go from where they started to where they are now. World Champions DRX, a team that no one believed possible, have made it.
That's the big thing about their story for me, right? Is that they haven't always been this good. Like, they haven't always been they never were, let's be real, projected to win, even at the beginning of today, this World's Trophy. And I think that's what makes their story so much better. And like, this is a massive historic run coming from play-ins, being the first team to come up from that. The way they look domestically, barely qualifying to this event at all as Korea's 4th seed, and then looking shaky throughout until they just kept taking wins and kept taking wins. And it really seemed like they gained momentum even in their losses, right? Yeah. Like they took a step back, they readjusted. They didn't always play perfectly, even in this series.
Nope.
And that makes them just really endearing and such a testament to, I think, in my opinion, I don't know about your experiences, League of Legends, the game as a whole.
And I think I've never seen a team bounce back from bad things better than DRX, ever. And maybe part of that is the fact that two of these players came off of a 2-16 summer split just a year ago.
Yeah.
Right, the org was 2-16 in LCK in 2021. And because no one ever expected to win, there was never any pressure or fear of doing badly if I'm trying to figure it out. Because you saw how crushed T1 was afterwards, because there was a massive expectation of success.
Yeah.
But for DRX, I feel like they were able to enter this amazing mode where it did not matter how many obstacles were thrown in their way, because if they hit it, oh well, right? Life will go on, and because they had that mindset, they were able to overcome more adversity than any other team ever.
I think it didn't start that way though, because they themselves talked about how like, oh, scrims are going poorly. We didn't think we were gonna do so well. Even in quarterfinals, we had Juhan kind of backstage talking to Piosik, telling him like, you know, it doesn't always happen all at once, like telling him the story of the Olympian, trying to pump him up after Piosik had been subbed out as recently as the group stage.
This world,
by Juhan. So like, I think, I don't know, the thing that makes their story so phenomenal for me, and I hope the thing that people don't rewrite when they look back on this is like, oh, they were always supposed to be this good, because they absolutely were not. Ask anyone who watched them in the LCK this year.
I mean, we had that story at the top of the day. Piosik going from streamer, one-trick Kindred to pro player. Chat telling him, hey, you want a Kindred skin? You don't think there's enough? Go make one. Go make it happen on your own.
We're getting a Kindred skin.
If we don't get a Kindred skin, I will lose my mind. But that's just one. That's just one of the many individual storylines. Of course, Def being the person at the forefront of everyone's minds when it comes to a near decade-long career that culminates in taking down the only other person probably on the planet that could rival the longevity of your career and be the perfect opponent to take down in ascending to that level.
And that is the craziest thing when we think back to the trailer that we saw as we head getting closer to Champion Select. Deft was saying, I wanted to be the best guy in this school. I wanted to be the best. It took him 10 years, and it took a world championship, but now he finally gets to say, I was better than that guy. And I love the way that he said it as well. He wanted to come on this stage and say, I'm the best in the world, but it wasn't about that anymore. It wasn't about him being the best in the world. It was about being a part of the best team. And when you hear about the environment that these players have built for themselves, the journey that they've taken together, where they never created this expectation where they needed to win, it was just put everything on the table and put it all on the Rift, and just walk away feeling happy and accomplished, and that was the mindset that resulted in them being world champions.
And to that end, Emily, I think we got to talk about our MVP of the series in Kingin. So much of this tournament, when it was top laners, it was Zeus. It was 369. The conversation was not about this guy at any point until the finals. And then he showed up in the biggest possible way.
Is this where I get to put my KT fan hat on?
Throw it on.
Hey, KT made
Throw it on.
I do think, though, that we touched upon the fact that it's not just that people were not really looking at Kingin because he wasn't necessarily a massive part of their wins when they did win. But the fact that he had a similar kind of like hype around his debut. When he was a trainee, people were looking at him to kind of be the next really good top laner, or potentially be the next really good top laner.
I gotta love it. All the players hitting the floor in this moment.
They must be exhausted.
I can't imagine the exhaustion you're feeling after a 5-game series like that.
But like I said, like I was talking to Chronicler, LCK caster, during the game 5, and we were just like, they're playing through Kingin, like they're playing through topside, and that's this team in their evolution throughout this event, you know, put him on Aatrox, he can deliver. We talked about how important that pick was going to be.
You know what? And the tournament came full circle. Aatrox.
And Maokai.
And Maokai came back. Maokai came back. When everything was on the line, 100% presence, Aatrox is there to save the day.
And I'm so happy that we went through the lane by lane, and something we talked about, Dash, was very much that we need to see Kingin get to the level of Zeus. And if you had told me, let alone the whole DRX winning Worlds thing, that coming into today, that Kingin would gap Zeus, solo kill him in game 5, I would have said, okay, bro, come on. Like, there's one thing with it.
Behind us, taking a much-deserved bow to still many cheers of the remaining fans.
But it's been an incredible run.
Series ended over a half hour ago at this point, and people are still here to cheer on their world champions here. I think it might be wise, as we see the team making their exit, for us to relive some of the moments of this series and talk through them, because it did go the distance. It went the whole way. With blue side, I'll remind everybody as Pyosik goes
that
for the
man
run.
on your screen has impeccable mental, can I just say?
Impeccable mental. Also, we were talking about everyone else being exhausted, and then this guy's like, Pyosik's like, I'm gonna do laps, guys. I played Hecarim, okay? I'm gonna do some laps. What a force for positivity in that team. You talk about mental, I think you're right. When you see his smile, that's infectious.
Well, and like he was getting absolutely destroyed for missing those smites and like not syncing up with Def's Callista, right? And that was one of the reasons why they lost that game. And then to come back and just be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm good. I couldn't do that. I don't have that mental.
Give me the horse. A horse is a horse, of course, and I'm gonna run people over.
It is bittersweet. Because,
so bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, like, I was fully bought into the underdog story, right? And seeing the rise from play-ins all the way to finals. But on the other side, it was Faker who was defeated. Yeah. And this could have been his four-piece, this could have been his fourth title. And like, you can see how much it meant to the players. And like, it was heartbreaking.
My heart broke for Carrier.
It was so painful to watch them, and you know how hard they've tried, and what an incredible year for such young players as well. But you know that the burden and the responsibility that rests on their shoulders is just so high, considering it is the T1 legacy that you have to give credit. Like, they had a phenomenal series, and Carrier had an incredible best of 5.
Yeah, and it was T1, if we all recall, that struck first blood 5-6 hours ago here at the Chase Center.
Dash, that was their first mistake. They just made DRX stronger by beating them the first time. If they let DRX get up in the series, then maybe it comes down to, in all seriousness, DRX shows the adaptability as we've talked about so much. But let's not forget how close this really was. Game 1 was fairly one-sided in the favor of T1. Games 2 and 3 were extremely close, as well as Game 5 being extremely close. So probably the most competitive World Finals we've ever had.
I can't think of a more competitive World Finals. Like, there were a few examples. Emily, you mentioned earlier.
By Def. That was to keep this series not being 2-0 up T1.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Emily, you mentioned earlier, like, even last year's EDG versus Darm1 final, that went all the 5 games. Like, obviously an incredibly competitive series. That one was. We also managed to see, T1 versus Samsung many years ago. Like, that was also an incredible final. Very few finals actually go the full distance. But to have a series like this just goes to, like, both teams putting everything on the table.
I think the big thing for me, as we run through the Baron Steel highlights, I think the big thing for me as well is, like you said, it's not just that it went to 5 games, but kind of reflecting how close, oh God, it hurts, some of these games were, right? And like what they came down to. And then, by contrast, how, again, here we see the DRX recovery, how they were able to recover, take that Game 5, and have it still be just such a remarkably close series.
What I loved was that it wasn't clean league. Like, in my opinion, like, I got a bunch of tweets as well being like, these guys are playing like bronze, like this is meant to be.
By the way,
I'm like,
I hate that phrase to begin with, clean league, because clean league, you can't play clean league if both teams are playing well. Because somebody's got to kill the other person.
I think that what league is inherently is, well, some people look at it as like who makes the fewest number of mistakes.
Sure.
And in one argument, like that's where we see some of the crisp, like old school Korean dominance, where like they made no mistakes, and they constantly punish their opposition.
Well, that's not exciting.
This to me felt like an expression of like people just trying to do stuff. Right, and I know I was going to say a naughty word. Okay, I'll say it. They were just trying. They were throwing everything at the wall. Okay, like it was crazy to see like so many individuals stepped up at so many different moments. Like think of Faker Game 1, dived into 3 people just to get a kill on the support, managed to get out with his life. Zeka and Hecarim in the 5th game with their dive in the flank that got caught out. Like this steal, like it was just so many insane plays from start to finish.
And yeah, that's so remarkable about this series that there were so many individual moments for all team members, right? And both of these teams have evolved so much in terms of their macro understanding, their map movements, even the setup for this Drake from DRX. You could see this wasn't something they would have been able to pull off in the domestic season, I don't think. But the fact that DRX of all teams, again, trying to go toe-to-toe with T1 mechanically and having both teams just be like, we're gonna out-mechanic each other. Zeka at the forefront of that. because he's a name we actually haven't mentioned a lot, but his journey has been phenomenal.
Just scrolling through some of the many conversations that were happening on Twitter throughout this series. Jad, I know it's a minor point, but it feels so right that DRX was able to get it done in the 5th game from the red side.
True.
It just backs up again this idea of the underdog story and everyone and everything kind of being against them, and that only one game in this series was won by a red-sided team, and it was the deciding game by leaving up the Caitlyn, playing some mind games, right, as well, and still being able to secure it for yourselves. It's just so spectacular to see.
The draft Game 5 mind games were crazy. Like,
so good.
Giving away Caitlyn, and honestly...
Oh, we talked about it, right? Where it was just kind of like, you're putting $1 million on the table, right?
Like, that's a trick. That's a trick. It's like, we're just right there. Just take it. But honestly, the karma was really effective at keeping the Caitlyn out of the game if T1 could have won the game before 38 minutes. I want to jump back to something you said, Vedius, in terms of, for people that would say this wasn't like a clean series. Like, if this isn't, I'm going to interchange words, clean and good. Like, if the 2 best teams in the world isn't good league, I'm sorry, you're probably not the fan that we're going for.
Well, then I don't know what good league is, and I don't want good league.
Good, also, good league is wrong in that case because
right.
it's the 2 best teams in the moment. Like, this is American sports reference, but for people like, maybe Vedius even knows this, that helmet catch.
You can leave.
Did you ever see the helmet catch? No, he didn't.
No, American sports reference.
Wow,
and it's actually contractually, Vedius is he's cleared as soon as somebody mentions American sports.
We're actually going to bring in a new person. So, but like, that was a Super Bowl winning moment because someone caught the ball on their helmet after they just flip it up and hope. Like, Gumayushi shooting that Varus Q at Baron was an equivalent of a Hail Mary. He's just like whipping a ball up at the buzzer and it goes in, but that's still the moments that end up defining these things. Thank you, Vedius. I'm really excited to talk to you.
I'm so glad we brought an American on the desk to talk about our American sports references.
Vedi had to sub out. What are we chatting about?
Did you know that? Have you ever heard of the helmet catch?
The what?
Okay, we'll move on.
We're done.
Hey, Pedro, how was that? Finals.
How
do you have a voice?
I don't have much of a voice.
I barely have one too.
I was just kind of, this is spontaneous. Hello, I'm just subbing it all of a sudden. Did you guys enjoy it?
We were just, oh my God. I mean, for me, best World Finals.
Oh, yeah.
In history, I think. I think it would be hard to argue against that, but depth. Here, you came in at perfect time. Let's bring it all back to depth because this was nearly 10 years in the making. It's his first Worlds trophy.
It starts with depth and it ends with depth, right? I don't think you can, even if you gave this League of Legends year to a script writer, he couldn't write a better story than what we've just seen this year.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about sports is because, actually you can try writing the script, and if you write this, you're like, it's too easy.
Yeah.
It never happened. The 2 guys from the same high school coming back 10 years later and winning, you wouldn't do that.
I said this to Emily, I was like, Piosik's a world champion. You know, if you told me that last year that he's going to be a world champion next year.
After 2 and 16?
I'd send you to the loony house if you said that last year. Are you kidding me? But this, right now, Keria, I was heartbroken for Keria.
I know.
This was tough to watch.
So emotional.
But that's also, but that is, again, it speaks to this moment, and it speaks to the passion of every single one of the players on that stage. There's going to be 5 unhappy people at the end of every series, and unfortunately, this time it fell the way of T1 to take the loss.
Yeah, and Def's had to see so many of his former teammates win without him, right? Chovy, EDG won a world championship without him.
His turn.
And now Keria has to be the one to watch Deft win without him. When they said together, they promised each other they'd win.
Do it. Tugs at my heartstrings,
Somebody had to win.
The back-to-back EDG winning Worlds and then Deft winning it the next year. I think to return to that idea of perfect league though, and what makes sports in general so amazing for me, is that if you're playing league perfectly, it can't be played by humans.
Yeah.
If you are a human being, you cannot play it out. So there's always going to be mistakes. There's always going to be moments where you're looking at it, you're like, this shouldn't have happened, and here's why it did. And if people play perfectly, if they were able to, you don't get a stage like this. You don't get a DRX story. How can you not love this story of Deft finally winning after so many years? I've
look at
been
that hug.
watching him since 2013.
Human error is what makes this game beautiful. If everything was perfect, everything would be boring.
Exactly.
No one would enjoy it.
So much mutual respect with these guys too, right? The fact that I feel like Piosik teared up seeing Kiria's pain.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's so many conflicting emotions, and I feel like that's what Zetka and Deft were all talking about. They're crying, but they're so happy. So it's just.
I mean, they came up together.
Yeah.
They played together previously.
Def nurtured him and grew it.
By the way, brand new trophy, first team to lift it.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good too, right? A little bit of a change in style.
Do you think of the iterations teams like Longzhou and Kingzone had with like BDD and Khan on the rise, you know, first seeded Worlds, I think it was 2016, 2017, they're going to win. And the one team you doubt the most is the one that does it for them. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. Barrel is 1 Worlds away from tying Faker.
In terms of all, in terms of all time,
Barrel is such a legend.
He's
Such a legend.
So first of all, he's also the second player to ever win Worlds on 2 different teams. The first one being Duke,
right?
SKT, and then IG. Then also, aren't we super glad that he was able to connect to Genshin Impact, because apparently.
Yeah, apparently
That's
he was
apparently,
yeah, he was having some trouble getting connected over here.
Yeah, the LCK casters apparently helped him out, so good on you.
Glad we got that solved. All right, an enormous thank you to the fans everywhere for celebrating Worlds with us today, no matter where you are. While it's been an incredible opportunity to reunite with fans here in person, community is the crown jewel of everything that we do, and it has been an honor to share the day with fans around the world. Here are just some of the samplings of photos that we got from fans all across the globe.
That's outside here.
That is also part of the globe, chat.
True,
true. But then many a movie theater packed with fans.
It's like a living room right
Living
there,
rooms
too.
right there as well. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Got the snacks ready. Oh, they got a cinema.
Yeah, they have a
Look at
theater.
those seats. That looks comfy, doesn't it?
I know. Just about it. It's just like you're here.
Yeah. Oh, it's been amazing. I hope everyone at home in the cinemas, together at parties, at your friend's house, you know.
Yep.
I hope you all enjoyed it, because that was unbelievable.
I just like
It's
seeing.
hard not to.
For me, I just like seeing smiles on faces and like moments
That's
like
a
that. Oh,
powerful
that is such an
Yeah.
incredible photo.
Yeah.
But like, because that is it. That's what this is about, is having that shared moment with
They
everybody.
faked that photo.
They probably did.
Yeah,
They
I was
probably
looking at the
did.
guy closest
they
to me.
probably
There's
did.
no way.
No,
They
yeah.
The
definitely
dog
did.
wasn't losing it either. I feel like
Yeah.
when you all lose in a
the
room,
dog- yeah,
the dog just starts
also-
going crazy, but the
That's
dog
how
was
you
just
could tell.
sleeping.
You thought you fooled us.
Yeah,
No,
it was
yeah.
close. It was
We were
close.
up to you.
But I guess the guy in the front ruined it.
No. Too good, though. Too good. As long as it's bringing people together and we're having a good time, that's all that matters. Now, though, it's time to get a final word from Faker.
Thank you very much. I have Faker here with me and also Helen standing by to help with the translation. First off, Faker, thank you so much for taking this interview. And I'd love to know just generally your thoughts about today and what maybe did not go exactly as planned.
오늘 전반적인 생각이랑 어떤 부분에서 미스가 있었는지에 대해서 여쭤볼게요.
저희가 아무래도 일주일 동안 이전처럼 연습 경기를 하면서 시간을 보내기가 어려웠기 때문에 좀 컨디션 관리나 기본기 쪽에서 많이 좋은 결과를 보여주려고 노력했고, 오늘은 좀 여러모로 잘된 부분도 있었지만 좀 부족한 부분이 있어서 패배했다고 생각합니다.
So since a week ago, I feel like our practice didn't really go as planned, and there are a lot of challenges that we faced. And I feel like today's match, honestly, there are parts that went well, but a lot of parts that we lacked in. So I think that's what brought this to this result.
Okay. It might not feel like it now, but it is still incredibly impressive for you to make it back to this final. What lies in the future?
이제 결과는 좀 아쉽지만 이 결승전까지 올라왔다는 거에 대해서 정말 대단한 것 같아요. 그래서 이제 앞으로 나아가면서 어떤 미래의 계획이 있으신가요?
또 다시 준승을 했다는 거는 굉장히 아쉬운 일이지만 이번 경기로 인해서 많은 점들을 배웠고 다음에 제가 더 성장할 수 있는 기회가 될 것 같습니다. 그리고 여기 와주신 팬분들도 굉장히 많이 열심히 응원을 해주셔가지고 다음에도 꼭 와보고 싶습니다.
It is a shame that we finished as runner-ups, but there are a lot of things that we learned through this entire tournament. So I hope that we can get back on our feet and do even better in the future. And I would like to also say thank you so much for our fans for cheering for us. They were all so loud and we could hear their energy.
They definitely were. We are looking forward to the future as well. 감사합니다,
Thank
Baker and Helen as well. Back over to you.
Thank you to Shocks. Thank you to Faker as well. As we get final words from him. Unfortunately, today it ended in defeat, but he is still very much the GOAT of our sport. And when we talk about it meaning so much for DRX, again, so much of that is because it was done against that man and that organization in T1.
Faker will be back. I don't think this is the end of Faker. I hope, and I don't want to say he's not going to, but I hope he doesn't retire, but I think he'll be back stronger than ever.
I don't think he will. He's
Really?
going to win another one.
Oh,
I don't think he'll retire.
I think.
Oh no! I thought you said that he won't be back.
Yeah, I mean, damn, that would be like the
Oh.
meanest thing to say.
Yeah, no.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
I really do think he will, especially with T1. I don't even know if they make roster changes. Like, unless one of the players has a change of heart or something really big
No.
happen in the offseason,
Right.
they showed so much improvement. They were so good the whole year. I want to see them run everything back.
Yeah.
Me too.
I hope for the same. But of course, we'll have to wait till 2023 to see.
Yeah.
As you may have noticed, silence has befell the arena as we begin to tear
tearing it down.
things down. So I'm going to bring everybody onto the set.
Get in here.
Let's go, guys. Get in here.
Everyone who was a part of making this World Championship the best World Championship that we
He still
have
has to
ever
talk,
seen.
Kobe.
The best World Final that we have
Oh, God.
ever seen. After so many years being in a remote situation, this Worlds was exactly what we needed. It was soul mending, I think is the word that I use for it. But that's going to do it from us here. So on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next year for more League of Legends. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other. Good night.
Good night.
I love you.
Cisco, let me hear you! 24 teams have done battle over the past 6 weeks to bring us to this day. And of them, just 2 remain. 2 have triumphed, 2 have endured, and 2 stand at the precipice of history. 1 team will leave this arena world champions. The other looking back at what could have been. Give it up one more time. San Francisco, it's DRX and T1.
합격은 져야 다음 시즌이죠. 긴장한 사람 없지? 난 진짜 안 했어 근데. 야, 가보자.
Baker still pretty far forward. Flash! Spectral ball! And first blood over to Zeka. And Drake secured as Baker goes in. Deft is on the run. 40% AP. Zeus ready for the re-engage. Fate sealed. And Deft is down. Zeus looks for Q3. Zeka goes in with a stolen a zero ulti, but it ain't gonna do a whole lot. They still got a little bit of damage, but it is not enough. Barrel's gonna die. Deft is gonna die. T1 will find the fight and find the win in game 1. Kingen goes in, Owner's the target, but now Zeus is locked down. Carry is here over the wall. It's first blood over to Owner, and T1 are absolutely outplaying. Pioshik will not find the damage yet. He won't find the damage at all. Carry gets it. Faker goes over the wall. Zeus tries to fight, but the damage pours in. Zeka grabs a third, as they're now going to find Faker here in the bottom lane. Kingen and Deft do the work, and that's money in Deft's pocket. The push continues. Inhibitor falls. DRX want to make it happen. Owner trying to flash in, trying to do it, trying to save it. But no, DRX rise to the occasion. Barrel continues retreating. He's under a lot of threat. The Berserk down on the unkillable Demon King, and he dies here today. Zeka looking to keep the charge going. Baron at 4,000. Zeka ready to use the stolen ulti. He throws Owner away. The Baron is stolen by Owner in a hero moment. T1 is fighting back. The Baron still at 3,000 HP. Deft looking to no way in the world. Deft dies next. Gumayushi just stole Baron. Coming in. Now the ulti's coming over from Maokai. Now DRX have found Faker. The smoke will not save him. Faker is nearly down. Hostile takeover over the wall. Wish from Soraka will heal the mid laner, but Maokai says no. Kingen chasing him away. Gumayushi goes in. It won't matter. They're done. That's it. DRX are taking us to game 5.
One game to decide it all.
But right now, it's time for Silver Scrapes.
T1 didn't find a response. Guma, can he steal it?
Guma will have to fire right here. He's trying to zone him away. Owner goes in. Owner is down. The Drake secured. T1's jungler trying to do it. T1's going to the base. They're going for the Nexus. Can they do it in time? Kingen comes back. Elder Drake at the ready, but what can he do? Q3, no damage just yet. Elder Drake, the execute, Zayas is down. DRX, hold on. Kingen goes to the Whirlwinder. Gumayushi is dead. They have been doubted. They have been discounted. They have been dismissed. But DRX are your 2022 World Champions. One of the greatest finals in League of Legends history. People are going to be watching that VOD for years to come.